Welcome to Really Raha, the podcast for coaches and creators who want to build luxury brands without burning out. I'm Raha, business energetics coach, PhD student, and sponsored skateboarder. I went from serving tables and hustling every client to building six-figure systems and offers that sell in my sleep. Here we talk all things raw when it comes to business strategy, nervous system regulation, and stepping into your goddess frequency with tangible, actionable steps to help you scale to consistent 10K plus months. If you're here, you know freedom is your birthright. Let's get into it.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about why women are naturally built for high ticket sales. There's a lot of stories and there's a lot of self-perceptions that we hear, especially from women thinking, oh, I'm just bad at sales. But really, you've just been taught the wrong version of it. So there's this lie that sales is masculine, sales is aggressive, sales is pressure, sales is being pushy. And there have been so many stories that have unfortunately supported that story. I mean, I think of like the used car salesman. So it's formed these stories and limiting beliefs around sales when the reframe is sales is giving. And modern high ticket enrollment is relational psychology. It's sales psychology. So in this episode, we're going to break down 10 advantages. You are going to walk away with so much. And most of you already know this, but I am a PhD student. So I value research. I value academic literature. So the 10 advantages that I'm actually going to walk through are all supported by peer-reviewed research. How flippin' cool is that? So at any point, if you're like, I want to know those studies, I want to know like what that study is, send me a DM, tell me which advantage you're curious about that I walk through, and I'll send you those sources. All right. So I just want to say the reminder is you already have the skill set. Serving tables, managing corporate conversations in your 9 to 5. You have the skill set of even just being a woman. You have the skill set to connect and to be relational. And these are all the things that we need in a high ticket sales conversation. High ticket sales is where you monetize your emotional intelligence, what you're already intuitively good at. So let's walk through the advantages. Number 1, women are trained in emotionally calibrating from childhood. You are so good at reading emotional cues, subtle shifts in micro expressions, in face expressions, and tonality, because research shows that women are more accurate at reading emotional cues. And sales, that's what that is. It's applied emotional perception. So when we think of high ticket sales and being able to go through the sales call, it's emotional regulation and pattern recognition. Those are traits that you already have. Because women, we are socially conditioned to read microexpressions, to track tone shifts, to notice subtle discomfort and energy, and anticipate needs before they're even said. That's our gift. So that is literally how to reframe objections, go those layers deep, noticing the emotional cues. It's also recognizing the buying temperature and tracking the buying state of a prospect, the subtle shifts, frame control. Although men have higher dominance on sales calls, women are more intuitive with holding the frame, which is holding the authority. So the prospect can recognize that you are the leader. So men, they're often rewarded for dominance, but women, we are rewarded for attunement, because high ticket sales isn't about just having a script and executing it. In fact, that is not what we do in Revenue Room. My Radiance framework has checkpoints. So you collect the checkpoint, you get what you need. You don't need to hammer your prospect with more questions. So it feels so much better. And it's moment to moment emotional adjustment, being able to shift in every micro moment, because the person who reads the room the best is the one who closes the call. Okay. Number 2, women are better at holding emotional tension on a sales call because women work through relational tension better in a conversation. Think about the times that you've been in an uncomfortable conversation with a partner, a friend. Our ability to be able to, in the moment, ease the tension and relieve, that's the skill set. Because when a prospect gets uncomfortable, when money comes up, when their identity gets challenged, when fear surfaces, most men go into how can I fix it? How can I logic my way through it? But women, we have been trained from the moment we were born to sit in it, to hold the space, to let the prospect process. And high ticket decisions, they happen inside the discomfort. So if you rush to relieve it, you're not you're not getting the sale. Like, it is just not going to happen. So women are more likely to sit in that relational discomfort. They're more likely to seek understanding before asserting any sort of dominance or any sort of anything. And women are more likely to maintain the connection even during disagreement. So on a sales call, you see this with letting someone process the price without rushing to relieve the tension. So as a server, you've already done this. The customer's mad, the kitchen is backed up, there's tension at the table, and you're still able to diffuse it without escalating the situation. And don't get me wrong, of course, it's not easy sometimes, but you have an innate ability to be able to warm the temperature of the room with your energy without even realizing it. So, number 3, women understand identity-based buying better because high-ticket sales is an identity shift. Transactional sales feature logic. So research shows that women tend to use more transformational and identity-based communication, which aligns with how high-ticket offers are purchased. This is the kind of relational energy that leads to these types of conversations. So men are often trained in focusing on the features, the benefits, the logic, but high-ticket sales, it's identity. It's being able to navigate and call in the future self. It's being congruent with emotions. So women, they naturally think relationally, contextually. They think about the long-term impact, which means women naturally sell transformation instead of features. So women sell who you become and men sell what you get. And that is a huge difference in high ticket sales. Number 4, women are less ego attached to being right. So research shows that collaborative negotiation styles, which are more commonly used by women, they're linked to higher joint agreement in complex decisions. So what this means is if you're trying to win an objection, you lose the client. The best closers, they stay curious. They ask layered questions. They reframe without a power struggle. Because women, we are generally more collaborative in our communication. We think about everybody involved. Like, we have this thermometer in our brain of like, okay, where is everybody in the conversation? I know you know what I'm talking about. We're more process oriented. We're more flexible in the conversational flow. So this makes the discovery deeper, which is the majority of the high ticket sales call. So we don't need to assert our dominance. We need to hold our frame and direct. Number 5, trust-based selling actually matches the female communication strengths. So research shows that trust-building language predicts commitment in high-value purchases. And women are statistically more likely to use affiliative language patterns. Okay, so what does this mean? So the old model focuses on scripts, 1-inch deep objection handling, and dominance as a strategy. But the new model prioritizes safety in the conversation, regulation, clarity, and self-led decision-making, which means asking guided questions that make it come from the prospect, where they're the ones having the breakthroughs. We're not telling them things. We're asking them guided questions that make them say it out loud and have that shift in their own body. And women are biologically and socially primed for relational trust building. And that's what high ticket sales is. It's leadership. And women, we are exceptional at this when we're trained properly. When you take your existing skill set that you already have and amplify it and enhance it, oh my God, you'll finally get paid what you're worth. Okay? Number 6, women outperform men in emotional intelligence. So studies show that women score higher on emotional perception and empathy measures. And that's what high ticket sales is. It's reading hesitation before it's been said out loud. It's tracking internal conflict. It's adjusting tone in every moment, reading tonality, shifting. That's emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence predicts job performance most strongly in roles that require social interaction, like sales. So that being said, sales is not about pressure. It's about perception. And women score higher in perception. Pretty cool, right? It's like leaning into the gifts we already have. We already intuitively have these gifts. We were put on this earth to give. What is selling? Giving. It's an exchange in value. What is money? Energy. Trading energy for value. Number 7, women are more collaborative negotiators, which increases agreement rates. So there's been studies in negotiation research that show women tend to use more integrative win-win strategies. And in high-ticket sales, collaborative reframing increases perceived safety. Safety in the conversations increases the commitment. And commitment increases conversion. So modern enrollment, modern sales, it's co-created. And that doesn't mean that the prospect is taking control over the conversation, but it's going the layers deep together. And as women, we default to collaborative structure. That's where we intuitively go to. And that maps directly onto high ticket sales. So the closer who makes it feel like a partnership is the one who closes the call. Number 8, buyers, especially in coaching, are majority women. So in coaching, wellness, business, education, women dominate buying demographics. So if you look at the market share, it is significantly more women buyers. So when women sell to women, mirror neurons fire. Shared lived experiences build trust faster. In the Radiance framework, we talk about the importance of intentional vulnerability. When we ask tougher questions, like impact questions in the diagnose phase, this is where we use intentional vulnerability, where we share a personal story to connect it with the question that we're asking so that we receive just as much of a powerful response from them. Because when we open up first, we show, hey, I was vulnerable first, and it invites them to be vulnerable as well. So this is what we teach in Revenue Room of how to go through these layers by making it feel safe in the conversation. And the lived experience is what builds that trust. So when it's woman to woman and there's similar experiences, it just makes it seamless. And the perceived psychological safety increases because of the woman to woman interaction. So there's something called similarity bias. And this shows that people trust and agree more with those who are perceived as similar as them. So if your buyer, if your prospect is a woman, a trained female closer has a measurable advantage in building that rapport, resonating at the top of the call. So relatability actually compresses the sales cycle. You can lean into that to make the calls shorter. Number 9, women are better at long-form relational selling, which is what high ticket requires. So high ticket sales is rarely a script logic. As I mentioned before, I do not teach scripts. That does not work for women, especially. I teach checkpoints, meaning at the top of the call, in the resonate phase, did we grab tangible problem? Did we grab desired state? Did we grab reality? Great. So we can think of mirror questions we can ask when we don't get clear answers for those checkpoints. Because if we get the checkpoint, but we still ask questions because that's what the script says, that shows that we're not listening to the prospect. So high ticket sales is a layered conversation. It's identity reflection. It's future pacing. It's values-based alignment. So research and communication styles show that women use more affiliative language, more reflective listening, more relational framing. So these are the traits that build that long-form trust. And it also increases retention for the client. And it predicts high-ticket decisions. So the old pressure model worked in transactional sales. It fails in transformational offers. So this is what my Radiance framework does. It focuses on the transformational offer. Number 10, women regulate social environments more effectively. So if we look at social neuroscience, it shows that women are more responsive to social harmony cues and group emotional states. So on a sales call, this looks like stabilizing the tone shifts, preventing escalation, diffusing defensiveness, restoring safety after the investment has been said. High ticket objections, they're rarely about money. They're about fear, self-doubt, identity disruption. So it's being able to learn the skill set of how do I isolate the objection and work at the fear underneath it. So the closer who can regulate the emotional field is who controls the outcome. And that's not dominance. That's nervous system leadership. So the sale is made from whoever regulates the room. And I'm going to give you a bonus one because women outperform in service-based upsell environments. So hospitality research consistently shows that women servers earn higher tips. Relational engagement increases the ticket size. So being able to connect with your table, being able to playfully upsell dessert and walk through the flavor profiles, that's what you're good at. Upselling appetizers, upselling that glass of wine that's $16 a glass instead of $9. Reading the table's mood in the first 2 seconds that you land at the table. Adjusting the energy per customer. So you're already practicing micro closing. The skill is there. The commission ceiling isn't. So you don't need to relearn sales. You just need to redirect it. And I will say, women sabotage themselves because women struggle with over-explaining, people-pleasing, softening the price delivery, and filling in the silence, letting calls run a little bit too long, avoiding being direct. So the advantages that we mentioned, all 10, they only activate when we combine attunement with structure. So this is where training matters because the natural ability that you already have plus frame control is what makes you an elite closer. So you're already doing sales. You're just capped. You're just constantly going to be hitting a ceiling. So if you're a server, a nurse, you're in hospitality, you're in HR, you're in customer service, you're already managing emotional states. You're already influencing decisions. You're already upselling, diffusing conflict, increasing ticket size. But you're still doing it at $20 an hour. High ticket sales removes the ceiling. So you're already closing. You're just not being paid for it. And I'm not sure if you heard, but I opened up Revenue Room to sales reps. That means even if you don't want to start a business, you can still learn high ticket sales, A to Z. I train you every pocket, including training you how to get placed on an offer. So instead of selling your own offer like a coach does, a business owner does, There are millions and millions and millions of coaches who have their high ticket offers, but they can't sell them because they have way too many sales calls on their calendar. So they hire closers to sell those programs for them and collect commission. And commission can be anywhere from 10, 20%. It's very significant, way more than you would make a night serving. So if you're like, I don't know where to start, I don't even know what it is, I've heard of it, I'm curious about it, I keep listening to your episodes and I want to know more, I literally train you A to Z. I had 2 girls join in one day. They're already learning it because you just have to master one call. Get really good at mastering one call. And then from there, first of all, it's just like, it feels so good and so fun to be able to be in a room with other women who are in the same boat, being in a 9-to-5 and are ready, are done, are saying, hey, I set a goal that I want to buy a house for my family. And just looking at the numbers, looking at the math, how capped you are with your minimum wage and your tips. I say this because I lived it. I was a server for 15 years of my life. No matter what fancy restaurant that I kept hopping off and off and off to, from Silver Lake to Beverly Hills to Santa Monica to Venice, I would never break through the ceiling. As soon as I left the restaurant industry and started selling high ticket, I made $100K my first year and even more my second year. I am showing you what works. I'm showing you the flow. I'm showing you a framework that we've tested so that you can have confidence and consistency in the way that you lead a sales call. And I help you find a coach, which is your aligned client that you resonate with, that you can sell and offer for them. So you have me, you have Mike, who is the DM setting strategist. He's brought in over $1 million in sets just from the DMs. So you're in good hands. We help you with everything. And if you have any questions at all about Revenue Room, the girls inside, we're having so much fun and we would love to see you in there. Send me a DM on Instagram at Radiant Rahav. And even if you don't want to join, I'd love to hear your favorite part of this episode. I love to hear what you guys are listening to, what episodes, what's been hitting for you, what breakthroughs you have. So I will see you next Tuesday, and I'm just sending so much love into your day. Bye, babe.
If this episode resonated with you in any way, if something clicked, expanded, or shifted for you, I'd love for you to share it and tag me on Instagram at Radiant Rahav so I can celebrate your breakthroughs with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and leave a 5-star review so more high-level coaches like you can find this space. Thank you for being a part of this community. I love you, and I'll see you next Tuesday.